gonna go ahead and call the meeting order, start with pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Next is approval of today's agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is approval of minutes of 9/18, 9/20.
Lance, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 18th and 20th, 2023 as presented.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of claims for payment of 9/25/23.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for payment for 9/25/23.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now is the consideration to approve use of courthouse grounds for October 1st, 2023 life change.
Lance, I'll make a motion to approve Ken Mason's application for the use of courthouse grounds for Sunday, October 1st. From around 2:15 to 3:30 for life chain.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? He should probably get a hold of property manager prior before he wants to stick signs in case we don't hit wire or
I'll give
anything.
Ken a call today
Okay.
and give him Dave's number.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is consideration approved resolution 2023-20. Resolution to adopt the Hardin County hazard mitigation plan update. Thomas, you want to talk on that one? Go ahead, go through this page by page.
No, so, we've been, working on that project, for about 6 months. And all the communities have met and have their profiles done. And they are adopting their portion of the plan. This is just the unincorporated area, the 213 pages there. There are some very interesting facts in there, on our population, our age, and our building infrastructure. Thanks to the assessor's office, we were able to update that. They showed that we didn't build any new structures in Hardin County since 2013. But we were able to find those numbers, so that's all been updated. We've cut out a lot of stuff because we had it completed as far as mitigation of hazards. And then we've got the new projects in there that we'll be working on as we move forward, and some of those are outlined. It is open for public review. I had Michael put the link on the website under the news section. So now instead of getting the form to comment on it, now it or comment about mitigation and hazards in Hardin County. Now the actual document and each of the community documents are listed on the website under the JEO hazard mitigation link.
Okay. Thank you.
Lance, I had somebody ask what the importance of this is, and there's many facets. One of the easiest explanations of the benefit of putting the time and effort into this. The example I would use is if we didn't have this and up to date and submitted properly, when we filed our large claim with FEMA after the frost boils and those issues we had a few years ago, that several $1 million of federal reimbursement wouldn't have taken place. So if you don't have this in place, this is the catalyst to be even able to apply for aid. So that's just one of the examples. So it'd be probably one of the larger examples, but during derecho, hailstorms, flooding, those disasters where there's requested assistance, if you don't have this, the rest doesn't matter. So.
How often do we update? 5 years?
Every 5 years, we have inside that is a plan to do an annual review though. So we'll be looking at it annually.
Okay.
So Lance, I'd make a motion to approve resolution 2023-20.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing done, roll call.
Lance,
Aye,
Renee,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye.
motion carries. Discuss possibility of county auction. It's been hit up by, at least one department, if not more, that we have a few things that need to get gone and we need to set a time for a public auction.
I thought you could just give me a date to have them tell me what they need. That way we can make the list, because I know when you put the public notice in, I need to mention vehicles, because I need to leave that, I have to say, hey, these are the times you can actually come and look at them and make sure they run. So I don't know if you guys just want to set a date a few weeks in the future that the other department heads need to get a hold of me by. And then I can bring you a public notice. But yeah, if you want to set the date of the public hearing too for that notice, I can.
Well, let's go with the date to get a hold of you by, to start with, and then it's not an action.
You have a suggested date, Taylor?
2 weeks, I'd say.
2 weeks. We don't have a calendar.
So
Make it by that Friday, and then for the Monday, I could have a public notice for you guys. to
October,
approve.
Okay.
October 9th.
Sure.
So you want a date set for October 9th to get a hold of you?
Then I'll have a week to get the next one ready. That's fine.
Okay.
Right, because that's a Monday.
You guys want to set that or sure?
I'd make a motion to set the time to contact Taylor for October 9th by close of business in regards to Hardin County surplus auction items.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next I have is change of statuses.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the change of status effective 9/21/23 for Kit Faber. He was a natural resource manager for conservation, and it is a resignation. He was a full-time employee. His last day of work will be 9/21/23.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the change of status effective September 22nd, 23 for Shania Robinson. She's a correctional officer in the sheriff's department or sheriff's office. At a salary rate of $20.35 an hour. It's a resignation. Effective, her last day of work will be September 22nd, 2023.
I will second your motion, Renee.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then the last one is effective September 22nd, 2023. For Spencer Larson, who's a correctional officer at $20.35 an hour. It's a promotion. He's full-time. He's going from part-time to full-time. And that, I guess, effective September 27th.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Other business.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Thanks for doing that, Taylor, by the way, before I forget. Michelle,
I just want to remind everyone that property taxes are due by the end of September. Since September 30th falls on the weekend. They do have the first business day of the month, so October 3rd would be the last day to pay with no penalty.
thank you. Any other? From there, I'll go to public comments. I know Nick, come on up.
Morning, Nick.
Morning. Thanks for having public comment back. I think people needed it. I like your guys' remodel job, even if it ended with me up in the ladies' room. I called to be asked to be placed on agenda for a CAPO feeding permit, and I just left it at that. And then Jessica called me and asked me why. I was concerned over a new feedlot expansion, was what I was led to believe. She's not aware of any permit or anything crossing her desk. I had concerns of it being too close to the ditch, manure running in the ditch, because that's where my drainage tile for my septic goes also. Possible expansion separation distances, because it's now closer to my home. Was a building permit or construction permit applied or approved? Why no need for permit? I listed many reasons. The DNR was informed, the DNR said that there was no expansion because it didn't include a covered building. The Miller site, there's well over 1,000 animals there, I believe. And you just keep adding on and on each year, and I asked the DNR, what's the chance of them putting 500 here this year and 500 there next year, which would give you the 1,000 head for the animal feeding permit being required. He says there's people that skate the rule that way, especially with hogs. They got a lower threshold. Didn't seem to be a big issue. I asked, let's see here. He agreed there's ways around the rules. The only concern that he had was the well. He said he looked at it through a aerial photo. And he said it looked like the current well was well within the scope of being 100 feet away. I said, yeah, but I said, you're not looking at the big picture. There was a previous acreage there with a well where this feedlot, I'm calling it feedlot because there's an automatic water plumbed in and feed box. Where this site is, there was a home, I believe the guy's name is Faye Truesdale, with a well there also. Is there any records of that well being capped? I contacted the DNR. DNR said that they had limited records and they thought the county had a more extensive list. Does anyone know if that well's been capped?
I can check. I'm not sure.
Okay. If there's no record, I consider that as not being plugged or capped.
How long ago was that acreage?
I've been there almost 30 years now. I believe Summit buried it. I think the DNR looked it up. It was like 12 or 15 years ago.
It just gives her a time frame to look back at.
Jeremy Platt actually had the DNR officer actually had the date. It's kind of concerning for me because I have that well. There's a house with doorings buried. They heavily applied manure. Is that well capped? Ralph Johnson's down on the highway. And then Shagers are burying one right now as we speak. The Donaldson farm. So they just burnt the house down 2 weeks ago and there's an excavator there right now as I came to the meeting. These are all within close proximity to my house. It doesn't affect you guys, but it affects me.
How deep are your wells? If I remember, you're pretty shallow.
That I can't tell you. I'd have to go back and look at my abstract.
Okay.
So over this issue, I've had 5 contacts and over getting placed on the agenda, I thought maybe we would move right along and get something done with this issue, but it doesn't look that way according to DNR. With that many calls, I thought it was a pretty important issue. The seriousness of this, I think you guys gotta get a little more serious with the permits. Last year, we go through the mowing permit. I could come down here and complain, and you guys did a policy change or revision. I know Taylor spent some time on it because I bugged him 2-3 times. He personally presented me with the paper. And that was also on the pipeline, manure pipeline that he revised.
And local hosts.
Yes. Okay. The next spring, I caught him violating what the rules and the policy said. And how do you enforce something like that? I was told. We have mowing ditches. A lot of those permits are not filled out. The pump and manure closing off the roads. Last year, the sheriff was sent out. I called BJ. He talked to Taylor, no permit issued. They shut off the road. During fall harvest, there's potential for many accidents. And if they got a hose across the road, you call 911 or the ambulance, they're gonna take the most direct route. If they gotta back up and turn around, this is critical. I imagine if a road was closed, it would flag the system and give you a more direct route. You guys gotta get serious with these permits. They're important issues. Jessica's job, which I think she does a good job, protects the people and protects the environment. will you guys ignore the permitting process to the carbon capture, for Pine Lake? They can put a pipe in the ground, but you guys have the overall power to say, hey, we're gonna allow you to capture carbon or not. We need to get serious with this. What's your stand, what's your legacy on what you and your job, is as supervisor? So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Daryl, were there any other public comments or what?
Yes, Amanda.
Should I let Daryl go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I know that the public is concerned about the capture, CO2 capture facilities, and I just wanted to make it clear kind of the process and at what point it would end up being, would involve the Board of Supervisors. There, in August, there was an application or a building permit application presented that has since been withdrawn, so there is no application on the table currently. That application or any application to build a carbon capture facility would fall under our M zone in our zoning ordinances, as the Article 15. And section 39, subsection D, is probably where this would land, which that deals with chemical manufacturing, because there's gonna be some sort of chemical processing happening before it, these gases would go into the pipe. The process would be that goes to the zoning commission. Then they do their due diligence, which could include public hearings, et cetera. Then they would make a recommendation to the board, and at that point, the board could adopt or send it back for more study, or they could make their own recommendations, conditions to be put on a permit. Once it does, if a permit is approved, then they would direct Jess to issue the permit. So I just wanted to make it clear what the process was. There's a step before it gets to the Board of Supervisors, and that would be the zoning commission.
Thank you. Amanda?
So I just wanted to remind everybody, all of the stakeholders about our Cha Chip Town Hall tomorrow, at the Public Library here in Eldora at 11:30. We'd like to see as many people there. We want some input on, what the stakeholders think. We will have a light lunch, so lunch will be provided.
Can you explain what it is?
The Cha Chip, yeah, I explained that, one of the other meetings, but what the Cha Chip is every 5 years, public health has to, the CHA is the community health assessment, and the CHIP is the community health, improvement plan. So, ours has been a little longer than 5 years just because of COVID and all of that. They bumped it back, but, so yeah, we're in the process right now. We've got the survey out where we're getting information from county members. And then we're working with Sarah Pavelka. She is putting this huge plan together. And so the town hall meeting tomorrow is to just go over what we have received so far from the results. And if those align with what the community members who come to and the stakeholders who come to the meeting tomorrow, if there's any ideas for improvement or what would like to be seen here. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Were there any other public comments? Then I could ask for adjournment?
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
I was gonna add on to Daryl's comment, at Pine Lake Corn Processors, they are doing some dirt work. And you will they have applied for a building permit, but it is not related to the pipeline. So
They're
just so
capturing.
everybody's aware, correct, yeah, it's not the capture facility, it's a different building, so.
Appreciate that update.
Yes.
Now I could ask for adjournment.
I'd move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries for adjourned.
Hey, next, I got a question.
Hey, Daryl, before you leave, I got a question. Maybe.
Or proclamation,
Oh, is that supposed to be today?
or, no, I just was interested on the process.
Oh, okay, send it to Jolene, the auditor's office,
Yeah, I called her.
and then I'll just go ahead and tell her to put it on the proclamation.
So what's the process?
What do you want the proclamation to say?
So November 18th every year is dedicated for National